Hello guys and welcome to Python programming tutorials by Amulya's Academy. Today in this tutorial we'll write the Python program to print string patterns. Here we'll take string as the input and we'll print its character or alphabets in the different shape. So the input of our today's program is a string. Here you need to enter the string without space, and in the output we'll get the character of this string in the different shape like right triangle shape, pyramid shape, etc. That means we are drawing many patterns today. Today's first pattern is I want to print string in the right triangle shape. Here for example I'll take the string as Python. I want to print the characters of the Python string in the right triangle shape. Here you can see in the first row I want P, next Y, next T, next H, next O and next N. So to print all this pattern I'll use nested for loop method, and to write this program first I need to take the input from the user. So in the Python file first I'll take a variable called str1 and I'll use input function to take input from the user. I'll write a message enter string within the double quotes. And here I'm using Python 3 to write this program. So in Python 3 by default this input function will take input as the string value, and here we want string input, so no need to do anything here. Right, now we are done with the input. Next we need to print the character of the string in different shape. First we want to print this in the right triangle shape. So to do this I'll use nested for loop. So first I'll take for loop for row, and here I'll use range function, and inside that I'll take for loop for column. Here I and j are the variable which are representing row and column respectively. And in the range function I need to mention how many rows I want. Here in this range function I need to mention how many columns I want in each row. Because we are taking the for loop for column inside the for loop for row, here I need to mention how many columns I want in each row. Let's see how many rows and columns we want in our output. So here in this first pattern 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We want 6 rows. We will get this pattern when the input string is Python. Python string contains 6 characters, right? That's why here we can see 6 rows. If my input string contains 7 characters, then I want 7 rows in my output pattern. So the number of rows in the pattern dependent on the length of the string. So first I need to find here length of the string. For that I'll use length function, len function. Here I'll take variable name as length, which will store the returned result from this function. Here I'm using len function, length function, to find out the length of the string. Now here how many rows I want? I want length rows, right? Next here I need to mention how many columns I want in my pattern. When I take row range as length, that means we are taking the range from 0 to length. For example, if length is 6, then range will be from 0 to 6. So we can get I value as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Total 6 values starting from 0. So in my pattern, row becomes, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now at row 0, I want 1 column. At row 1, I want 2 column. At row 2, I want 3 column. That means I want row plus 1 column in every row, right? And here we took I to represent the row. So I need to mention here I plus 1. I want I plus 1 column in every row. And inside this, I need to print the character of string. That's why I'll take str1 and I'll use indexing method to access the character of the string. And here I need to mention, here you can see in row 0 I want P. So our input string is this Python. So in row 0 I want P, and at row 1 I want Y, at row 2 I want T. If I take str1 of row, that is str1 of I, then I'll get this pattern. If I print str1 of I, and here I'll take end parameter and I'll take end as the space. In print function, the default value of end parameter is /n. That is, after printing any message, control will go to the next line. But here, after printing one character in a row, like this, after printing this Y, I want this Y next to that, right? In the same line. That's why we need to take end as space. And inside the first for loop, in this for loop for row, I'll take print function. Here end parameter will take the default value /n, so it will go to the new line. So here we are using this print function for the new line. That is, after printing one row, we need to go to the next row and we need to print next row in the next line, right? That's why we are using this print function. So now we are done. So let's execute this, save and execute. And here enter the string. So I'll take the string as Python and here you can see the output. Next, for the next pattern, if I want to print this pattern, for this no need to change anything else, just here change, instead of I, take J. That is, we want to print this pattern, and in this pattern you can see every column contains same character. Here you can see column 0 contains P, column 1 contains Y, right? That's why for column the variable name is J, so here you need to take J. And if I execute this now, we'll get different pattern, that is the second pattern. Here you can see. And the next pattern of today's tutorial is this. I want to print this string in the right triangle shape, in this shape. Here in this pattern, first we want to print space. After that we want to print the characters. Here you can see, right? So here, before taking the for loop to print the character, we need to take the for loop to print the space. So in the program, here before taking this, using this for loop, we are printing the characters in the column, right? Before doing that, we need to take the for loop for space. So for that, let's see how many space we want in each row. Here the string is Python, the length of string is 6. Here in the 0th row, we want 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 space. And first row we want 4 space, and in the second row we want 3 space, in third row we want 2 space, and in the fourth row we want 1 space, and at last row we want 0 space. For this we'll use the formula length minus I minus 1. Here length is 6 and minus I means here will represent row as I. So length is 6, I is 0 here and minus 1. So 6 minus 1 will get 5 space. And when length is 6, I is 1, 6 minus 1 will get 5, 5 minus 1 will get 4 space, 6 minus 2 minus 1, so we'll get 3 space. So to print this space, we'll take the formula as length minus I minus 1. Here you need to take length minus I minus 1 and here we need to print space. We want these many space. And here also I'll take end as empty string or space. Whatever you'll take here, you need to take that here also. If you are taking end is equal to space, here also you need to take end is equal to space. Now next, after that we'll print the character. So let's execute this and we'll see. Now here we can see we are getting the pattern in this shape. We just added this for loop to print space before the characters. Next, if you want to print this pattern, then here you need to take str1 of I, and if I execute this, we'll get this pattern. Next, if I want to print this string in the pyramid shape, then how to do that? For this, in the program, we just need to remove one space from here. If I remove one space here, we'll get the characters in the pyramid shape now. Let's see that. Here you can see. And if you want another pattern, then you can print here J. And here you can see another pattern. So if you want to print the strings in the pyramid shape, then here you need to remove one space. If you give the space between the characters, then we'll get the pyramid shape. Next, if I want to print pattern like this, first I want Python, next pyth, pyt, pyp, then how to do that? Here we can say first we want character, after that space, so no need to take this for loop, so I'll cut that. No need to print the space before the character, so I'll remove that. And here in this for loop, okay, so in this pattern we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. This is the row number. At row 0, I want the character in 6 column. At row 1, I want the character at 5 column. Here 4, here 3, here 2, here 1. So that's why what I'll do is I want here length is 6 and here I want 6 character first, right? So I'll take length minus I. I want length minus I in every row. Here length is 6 minus I. So at row 0, 6 minus 0, we'll get 6 column. At row 1, 6 minus 1, so I'll get 5 column. At row 2, I'll get 6 minus 2, 4 column. Okay, it will work like that. So we want length minus I column in every row. Okay, now if I execute this, we'll get pattern like this: Python pytho, pyth, pyt, pyp. And if you want another pattern, you can print here I. So to get string in this shape, you need to take length minus I column in every row. Next, now if I want to print like this, so here we can see first we want to print space here. After that we want to print character. So first we need to include the for loop for space. After that we need to take the for loop for this character. So here we need for loop to print space. So here I'll take print space end is equal to space. And here let's see how many space we want in each row. Here we want 0 space, here we want 1 space, here 2 space, 3 space, 4 space, 5 space. That is nothing but the row values, right? This is row 0, row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5. And we want that many space in every row. That's why here I want I space. Okay, so now if I execute this, we'll get different pattern like this. And if you want here J, here you can see another pattern. And the next shape is I want to print the string in this shape, in this triangle, lower triangle shape. So for that, here in this program, what you need to do is you need to remove 1 space from this. Okay, and if I execute this now, you can see the pattern. Here what we need to do is in this pattern, we need to give space between the characters. Here while printing the space, we don't need space there. Here while printing the space, don't take end is equal to space. Take end is equal to empty string. And while printing the character, take end is equal to space. Then you'll get the pyramid shape. You want another pattern, take I here. Here you can see. And our next pattern is this. We want to print alphabets of string in this shape. We already discussed about this shape previously in this program. When we enter string as Python, it will print string in this shape. But here you can see we are getting P first, next Y, next T, next H, next O, next N. In our next pattern, I want to print first N, O, T, H, Y, P in the reverse order. Okay, so to print this pattern, I'll use the same program and I'll do few changes here. First here we can see we are taking the input and we are storing that in str1, right? If I take the input as Python, then str1 becomes Python. When I find out length, I'll get 6. The length of Python string is 6. Next we'll execute for loop for I in range. So I value becomes 0 first, next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And also if I want to access individual character from this string, then I need to mention str1 and its index. And its index starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And because I took range from 0 to length, starting from 0, so we'll get P first, next Y, next T, next H, next O, next N in our pattern. But now we want N first, next O, next H, next T, next Y, next P. First I want to access this N which is present in the 5th index. This is at 4th, 3, 2, 1, 0. Right? So for that what you need to do is you need to change this range. You need to reverse this range. First you need to take length minus 1, because if I take length will become 6, but here we need to start from 5, index 5. So you need to take range as length minus 1 till minus 1, that is the end. that is when I becomes -1, don't execute the loop body, that is the ending point. Here end is exclusive, right? We need to get row as 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0 till 0. That's why you need to take end as -1. And here you need to take step as -1. In the range function, step is an optional parameter and by default it is +1. But if I want to print the numbers in the reverse order, you can take the step as -1 like this. So here when I enter input as Python, its length is 6. So length -1, that is 6 - 1. So this for loop will work for range 5 -1 -1. So I can be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So here instead of taking the row number as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we are taking it in the reverse order. That is, first this is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We are changing the row number, that's it. Next, in this pattern, first we want to print space. So let's see how many space we want in each row. At row 5, we need 0 space. At row 4, we need 1 space. At row 3, we need 2 space. At row 2, we need 3 space. At row 1, we need 4 space. And at row 0, we need 5 space. So to get this space, I'll take the formula as, here length is 6. And these are the I value, -I -1. If I take length minus I -1, then here length is 6, minus I is 5, 6 minus 5, 1, 1 minus 1, 0. So we'll get 0 space here. When length is 6, I is 4, 6 minus 4, 2, 2 minus 1, 1. We'll get 1 space here. Okay, it will work for that. So we need length minus I -1 space here. So here, in the for loop to print space, I need to take range as length minus I -1. I want that many spaces. Next, here in this for loop to print the alphabets, let's see how many alphabets we want in each row. Here we want 6 alphabets. Here you can see. Here we want 5. Here we want 4, 3, 2, 1. That is nothing but I +1, right? We need I +1 alphabets. So here you need to take I +1. Alright, so now we are done. Here we need to change the range, that's it. Now if I execute this, it will give output in the reverse order. And for the next pattern, that is this pattern, in this pattern you need to do one more thing. That is, here you can see in every column of a row, we need to reverse the string. First here we want N, next O, next T, next H, next Y, next P. That's why here you need to change this index also. You need to reverse this index also. First here we want 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Because in Python, N is present at index 5, right? So here N, O, T, H, Y, P. That's why we need to reverse the index of this column also. That is where we want to print the characters, alphabets. So to reverse this, first here we want 5, next 4, next 3, next 2, next 1, next 0. That's why here you need to take I -1 -1. You need to reverse this range also. And here you need to take J. And now if I execute this and if I take Python, here we can see Python is reversed. So now if you ask why I'm not taking I +1 here, instead why I'm taking I -1 -1. So we took length -1 as the starting value for range. So I initially becomes 5. So here in this for loop, I is 5, -1 -1, right? So initially J value will be 5. So it will print whatever present in str1 of 5. str1 of 5, in the index 5, the alphabet N is present, that's why it will print N. Next J value becomes 4, so it will print whatever the value present in 4th index. Next J value becomes 3, it will print character whatever present in the 3rd index, okay? That's why we need to change this index. Here I'm not taking I +1, that is because if I take I +1, when I value is 5, I +1 is nothing but 6. So initially J value will be 6. If I take str1 of J, that means I'm accessing the character which is present in the 6th index of str1. So we'll get error. So that's it about this pattern. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I will meet you next class. Till then, take care.